Hello class. For this micro lecture assignment for the Rec 72 Wilderness Survival course, we're going to create our own wilderness survival kit. The learning objective is you will construct your own wilderness survival kit. Learning overview, a micro lecture will be presented going over how to build your kit right now. Learning resource, I have one mini written lecture document that we'll go over here in a minute. On Thursday, September 23rd, 2025, everyone will bring in a wilderness survival kit into class as a homework assignment. That's worth 25 points to bring in and share with the class. Okay. And remember, it's always best to create your own survival kit from scratch with materials that you already have practiced and know how to use, as opposed to buying a pre-made survival kit online that you don't know how to use with items that can be of inferior quality. And here's a little cartoon reminder of to avoid those snake oil salesmen in the industry who try to sell you these junk wilderness survival kits, okay? That can get you in trouble when you try to use them when you need them most. Okay, moving along to the document now. You want to build your kit from scratch, like I just mentioned. You must have the 5 C's of survivability within your kit to receive full credit. So let's go over those for a minute here. So adequate means to regulate your core body temperature in the environment, either hot or cold in which you're going in, which is your clothing. Your first C, you want adequate means to create a portable water to regulate your core body temperature in your environment. That's your C, your second C for container. Multiple effective means for signaling for rescue. You want one visual like a signaling mirror and another audible like a whistle. All right. You need that positive can-do attitude. You need some sort of cutting edge. That's your third C. A method to create and sustain fire. That's combustion. Your fourth C, a combustion device. And your fifth C is your cordage, either a string or rope. And then you must also be able to demonstrate the know-how of how to use the equipment that you put into your kit. If you don't know how to use it, an emergency transpires, chances are you may not be able to demonstrate your capabilities effectively, and it can be the difference between life and death. Okay, so those are the items to put into your kit. If you want to go beyond the 5 C's, you can. Here are a few other items that you can add to your pack to make it more complete. And I want you guys to know that each person's kit will be a little bit different based on the materials they feel comfortable using, what they can afford, and of course, what they need based on the type of trip they're going to. The climate, the environment, and the duration of time all influence what you're going to put in your own unique individual kits for this assignment. Okay, so some more ideas to get the ball rolling is you can put in 2 heavy freezer bags, for example, if you'd like, a roll of dental floss, a Mylar space blanket, colored surveyor's tape, a peelless plastic whistle for signaling. Remember in the cold weather, those peas freeze up and you can't use them. A magnesium block as part of your tinder to start your fire. A flashlight with some good batteries that work. All right. Wool socks in a stocking camp for cold weather, maybe a cotton bandana for warm weather. Caffeine pills, a map and compass, a topographical map of the area, and a base plate compass flat to place on top of the map, and maybe some granola bars as food. Okay, for a waterproof container, you can use anything that's portable. All right, if you use a steel container, you can boil it to purify the water, say for example, or you can bring purification tabs with you. Combustion devices, cigarette lighters, matches, a magnesium bar, if you have the money for it, or a magnifying glass will all work. It may behoove you to add some sort of tinder, maybe a couple cotton balls dipped in petroleum jelly, or some fine wood scraps, or something along those lines, or a good char cloth, all right, that we've already talked about in class. Water purification tabs, some sunblock, a steel cup, like I mentioned before, and even a second knife. You want your full tank steel knife for processing wood, and maybe a folding knife as a second knife, extra optional if you want to do the fine carvings of wood. Rope or wire, your 550 paracord is going to be best, but you can bring or add any rope or wire that which you have on hand if you're concerned about finances. Other things you can bring are duct tape, safety pins, sewing kits, navigational tools such as compass, maps of the area, or GPS, electronic navigation system on your phone. Signaling tools, a good signaling mirror, a whistle, and maybe a flashlight at night to signal for help. Okay, and that's about it for that. And then this is going to be a 25-point assignment. So a full 25 points is a customized pack, um, full within a container. And here's an image of what a 25-point assignment looks like. The Ziploc bag is a container. There's a second container underneath, which is the backpack. You got your combustion device with the matches, the parachute cord, and looks like a space blanket, some other items in there. So the 5 C's are in here, plus a couple extra things. In the pack, you get 25 points. 20 points is a full kit with no container, so loose items. So this image has a good Mora knife, a good signaling mirror, and a flashlight, and some other things, a water bladder, but there's no container to hold the items in. Therefore, this would only be 20 points. A 15-point assignment would be one of those cheap survival kits that you would buy online, like Amazon.com, for example. Right? Those are second best. Those items in there, they may not work in an emergency. They may be cheap and break, and you may not know how to use them if you just already buy them online and bring them into this class. And so, but something is better than nothing. I'll give you 15 points. Going back to our rubric here, a partial kit with a container, maybe 2 of the 5 C's, you get yourself 10 points. And a limited kit without container, maybe bringing in one or 2 C's without the container, that's only going to get you 5 points. So make sure you get at least your 5 C's or more inside of a nice container. Ideas for containers: a waterproof Ziploc pouch like pictured above. You can use a fanny pack, a small hard shell case, or a traveling toiletry kit, or any other kind of pack that you already have. And remember, you want to bring stuff in your kit that you already know how to use. Practice makes perfect. So we talked about bushcraft mathematics, the algebraic expression of y equals f of x. X is your input, f is the variation of your input, which is the variable, and y is your output. So all inputs x will affect the output y. F directly affects y due to variations, inconsistencies, and repeatability and reproducibility. So for the F, if you don't practice your skills and you're rusty on starting fires or using your knife to process wood, that can affect your Y, your output. So to have consistent outputs, especially in an emergency situation, you want to have practice using your combustion devices to start a fire, learn how to signal your signaling mirror correctly. So when that time counts in an emergency, you know how to use it. So achieve consistency by practicing and using the items in your survival kit, and that way you have them in an emergency. Remember, all skills are perishable, and keep practicing by way of spaced repetition. So I really look forward to seeing what you guys bring in the class. This is one of my favorite assignments of the semester. Be creative, have fun, and good luck.